Hello, hello. Good morning, good day, good afternoon, good evening, whatever it is for you. So today we're going to be exploring a particularly powerful polarity that we're all dealing with, which is the polarity of attachment and aversion. So attachment is referring to anything that we feel attached to, we feel drawn to, we like, we want more of that. Yeah, could be more food, could be more love, could be more free time, could be more work, could be more friends, more sex, more more anything. Yeah, could be more anything. And so that's attachment. That's referred to as attachment. Aversion is anything that we don't want or that we want less of, or anything we don't like. So we have an aversion to those particular things, those particular maybe traits or behaviors, maybe in ourselves or in other people. And we don't want to be like that. We don't want that. We don't want that kind of life. We don't want that kind of experience. Don't want that kind of way of being, whatever it might be. So attachment and aversion sit on a polarity. And I'm going to show you this graphic to demonstrate that. So there we go. So on the one hand, you see attachment, and on the other end, you see aversion. And really, what's the opportunity here for you to really start to not only realize through the mind and through understanding, but also as an embodied practice. So we're going to go into an actual embodiment practice in a moment as well, is to really start to notice the interdependence of this polarity. I can't feel any attachment to a particular way of being, a particular way of operating, a particular way of those things that I want more of. I can't really experience that if I also don't have a reference point and something that I hold in the back of my mind and something that I don't want, that I want less of. I can't really want more of something if I don't also know what I want less of. And the other way around is the same. I can't really want less of something if I also don't have an awareness of something that I want more of. And in a certain way, we can see how this polarity creates a lot of unnecessary suffering and friction, because we're not actually content in a moment with what's arising here right now. We're in some sort of idea of what we want more of, or some sort of idea of what we want less of. So we're out of relationship with the present moment. We're no longer in the present moment, simply accepting and welcoming everything that's here. All the things we might regard as likable and all the things we might regard as unlikable. So this is a really big one. And we're going to be exploring this through an embodiment practice. So you can stand up where you are in your room or wherever you are. Stand. If you're driving, please don't do this, and please just pause and do this another time. So do it in a room somewhere where you have a little bit of space to walk up and down. This could be walking up and down a stick or a broomstick or something, or you put a scarf or a yoga mat or something on the floor, and you can walk up and down from one end to the other. That's the idea. And then I want you to, when you have that, I want you to stand in the place of attachment. So whichever side you feel drawn to, that you feel you want to be there. Yeah, you like that place. So there's a sense of attachment there. So as you stand in this side of attachment facing the other side, so you stand in this side of attachment, you feel in your body. So you take note of the state of the body. How is the body feeling at this point? How is the body experiencing this place of attachment, this place of wanting more? This place of likeness. I want to be more like this. I want more of this. And how do you notice the breath? How is the breath behaving? How is the breath operating? And what can you notice in terms of the state of the body or the heartbeat? How is the heartbeat in this particular place of attachment? Or any other observations you might be able to detect or see in the body. As you really ground yourself in this place of wanting, so maybe you feel attached to your health or attached to certain objects in your life. Furniture, a car, a couch, but maybe attached to particular clothing or a particular way of looking. It's more gross objectivity, and then maybe attached to particular behaviors. You really like this kind of behaviors. I'm a person that's really likable in these and these and these X, Y, Z ways. You really like that you're so kind or that you're so helpful. Or you might be attached to be perceived to be a really good mother, a good father, a good daughter, a good sister, a good friend. Or someone that's really capable and could do it all themselves. So you might feel an attachment in that. And there's a sense of identification with this aspect. There's a sense of wanting more to be like this. So really start to feel that in the body. How does this space feel of attaching yourself? Being attached to yourself and to this particular way of being. In the background, you can feel the fear of losing it, which is the aversion. But let's just ignore that and let's just stay here with what we want. What do you want in life? How do you want to be? There's a certain quality of requirement here. You want to be more like this. You want more of this. When you can feel the push and the pull, because you can feel how it's also, in a certain sense, creating a restriction, which is we're gonna now flow into that, which is you're gonna slowly start walking to the side of aversion. As you leave this place of attachment and you walk towards aversion. And anything you really don't want, you have an aversion towards in life. Could be particular objects again, maybe a particular way of being or operating, or the way your husband is treating you, or the way your wife is behaving, or any aversion that might be here. So notice and feel into the body. How does it feel to be in this place of dislike? You dislike this part of your body, maybe. You dislike this part of yourself, the way you sometimes operate or behave. And you can notice that in the dislike, there's a like. This is the paradox. You can notice that in the not wanting of that, you can feel the actual attachment in it. As we can't have one without the other. So start to really feel, how does the body feel? How does the breath behave in this particular space of aversion? Maybe is the breath in a different part of the body more active than in another part? How is the heartbeat here as you stand here in this place of dislike, in this place of anything you don't want in life? You don't want to be like, you don't like to be associated with this group of people, maybe. Or maybe something the government or a group that you really don't like that way of being or operating. So there's an aversion and there's a suffering in that. And then as you take note of that and let go of that aversion, really walk back again to this place of attachment. And notice as you move from one side to the other, how it shifts the state in the body. How is the body responding differently to these different energetic spaces? And now as you stand in this place of attachment again, really notice how you maybe feel here. Feel more at home in a certain way, or feel more liked, right? You like this place. So you like this way of being. So notice again, how is the state of the body? What's the heartbeat doing? And what is happening with the breath patterns, or the breath energetic of it? What's happening? So again, we're standing in a place of anything you really, really like. You really want more of in your life. But you also feel the fear of losing it. So you can feel the suffering in the attachment. And now I want you to slowly walk up and down attachment and aversion in your own way, in your own time. You can bring up particular, it will naturally happen, but you can bring up particular elements in life that you feel particularly attached or averse to, and work with those as you walk up and down, and see what happens as you start to almost merge these two energies, as really one can't exist without the other. And the real realization here of interdependence. So in your own time, moving up and down, this polarity. Again, notice the state of the body as you move from one side to the other. And notice the state of mind. Notice the breath. And as you've done that a few times, I want you to stand back in the apex. So you see that tiny little dot on the screen that is neither in attachment or aversion. It's kind of standing outside of the polarity, where you stand and can see both attachment and aversion on either side. So you can stand back and see what happens energetically as you see here and stand here in this fifth person perspective. Where you can see the oppositions. You can stand back and watch this space. As you might have noticed, in both attachment and aversion, there's a push-pull energy. There's a heat and a cold in the body, in the system. And it might be a different experience for different people, but there's some form of push-pull because it's a polarity. And as we integrate that polarity, see what happens in the system as you stand in this more neutral position, which is the fifth person perspective in the apex point. And you can see the push-pull potentially playing out. So you can watch it, but you're not invested in either perspective. But you could still choose to move in it, but you're not invested in it. This is the difference between being invested in a perspective or being able to move in and out of things. Because then we can hold dynamic, complex polarity and complex oppositions, which is really paradoxes. We can hold the complexity of paradoxes without being invested overly in one side or the other, which is really what's available for all of us here. So as you finish this practice and notice what is it like to be in this fifth person perspective, take some notes at the end of this call as we jump off. Take some notes as to what you realized and what you observed in your own body, in your own breathing patterns, in your heart rhythm. Those are all signatures that are communicating with you. and notice what were particular attachment or aversions in your life that you were drawn to or moving away from. Yeah. And then you can work with that in your own time as well. So you can always come back to these practices, and you can, of course, ask us if you have anything specific you would like to explore here or want some support with. We're gonna go through many of these practices. So this is one of them, and it's a very powerful one if you really understand what we're doing here. So keep exploring, keep learning, and please reach out if you need any help or support. Thank you.